We're gonna do a snap instead of a clap because I am lying down right now. Hey, so I was first off, Happy New Year, everybody. I know we're like 2 weeks in. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. I just think that's very exciting. Yeah, we're gonna film this lying down because I don't have the energy to sit up. Really. Anyway, happy solar new year. Hope y'all started off interesting enough. Right. This video. So I actually shifted to Harry Potter. Here's the thing. Before y'all get at me, I know I make scripts and then the stories I tell you of me shifting to these places doesn't follow the script like at all. I don't know why it's like that. It just does. So it was literally like it wasn't exactly an accident, 0101. This time it was more like I was like, you know what? I'ma do it. I'ma do it. I'm not gonna think about my script and worry about it being like sorry, it's like 12 at night. So um I was just like, you know what? I'm not gonna think about my script being perfect, who I am, whatever. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go. And so I did. I just I woke up in potions class. Right? So there's two stories. They're both mini shifts. They're not as long as my magician one. I can't yawn properly for some reason and that's bothering me. But so I woke up and like literally arms down. I kind of like opened my eyes. I like looked up. I'm looking around. I was like, "Where am I?" um and then I kind of like looked at like my where I was lying on and it was a desk and I'm like looking at it and I see a quill, a book, actually like a blank book and ink and I'm like I'm still kind of trying to process. My glasses are so dirty. I'm still trying to process what's happening and um I like look to the side and I barely looked to the side before I hear someone hear someone's voice and they were like um what he said something like our no he was like if you dang I'm sorry this happened like a week ago. He said something like it was really good too. I'm trying to remember it word for word, but basically he was like if you can't pay attention, if you can't stay awake in my class, then don't come at all. Um, then don't bother coming at all. Something like that. Miss Spider, right? I bet 99% of you can already guess which class I'm in, which class I fell asleep and now woke up in. And first off, I was like, my last name is Spider. Like, for some reason, in this, like, shifting to this universe specifically, I have a lot of two consciousnesses. So you know how in my magician one, if you haven't seen my magician one, you should go watch it. I think it's great. I watch the video like every couple months or so just because I like the stories in that video specifically. I'll tag it too. If not, if I don't tag it, it should be in the boxes. If it's on the boxes, it should be. I'll put it in the card. Anyway, so they're very close, right? I was very two minded instead of like the back of my mind, like in the magician one, and then I was just saying stuff. This one was like I would think things 444, and I would also say things like they were a lot closer together. And I was like, my last name is Spider. Like that is so cool. Why did I never think of that? Because I'm a writer, right? So like I'm like that's a cool last name. And so then I like I jumped because I did not expect to see Severus Snape looking down at me. Like I like jumped because I had like say I looked this way, right? He's right here. So then like I jumped, looked at him, and when I jumped, I reached sideways to grab my desk mate. Well actually, to grab my wand because I saw my wand there when I looked like when I glanced sideways, I saw my wand. And he was like, so I reached for my wand at first, and he was like, "Did you just reach for your wand? Like, are you trying to attack me, Miss Spider?" And I was like, "No. Why would I do that? That is ridiculous. I am reaching for my best friend's hand because in times of distress, some people 555 just need some comfort." That's literally that's almost word for word what I said. And my desk mate is looking at me like, "What?" and, and Snape is looking at me like, "Are you serious?" So it was like, "I'm sure you can understand that, Professor Snape." And he's like looking at me, and I'm like looking at him. He's like, "Take notes." And then he continues walking, and I was like, "Whew." And my desk mate's looking at me, and he's like, "Really?" And I'm looking at him like, "Why did you wake me up? Why would you let me sleep in this class specifically?" I think I actually told him that, and he was like, he kind of like shook his head, and he was gonna tell me something, but then I kind of like woke up, shifted back, and I was just like, I was like, that was interesting. Um, by the way, my 0707, my desk mate is Draco Malfoy. Fascinating. And no, I take it back. I take it back. I didn't shift back yet. Um I was looking at him, and he was like shaking his head at me, and then he turned back forward. And so I was like, "You know what? Fine." So I pick up my pen, my quill. I dip it in some ink, and I look at the board, and I start taking notes. And I started actually taking notes, and I was like, "Oh, I should remember this for so I can write down the actual notes like in my CR, you know?" I don't remember what the notes were. I think we're actually taking notes on a love, what is it called? Draft, a drought, drought. I know there's different like names for potions. It was something like that. Oh 08, oh 08. And I was like, "Oh, that's interesting. Isn't this Andromeda?" And I was like, "Wait, that's the wrong name." I was like, "Andromeda." Like I could not remember like the love potion name. And then I started like, and then the notes were actually like, one of the notes was actually about how it's different than that one, because that one's like a love potion, like to make somebody fall in love with you, or infatuation or obsession. And it was like literally about the differences between them, and I was like, this is so fascinating. And then like I don't remember anymore. I should have wrote them down like once I like came back, but I was still kind of like shell shocked that one, my thoughts were so like at the front of my mind that I had to stop my mouth from saying them, like my me as I am thoughts, instead of like in the back of my head. And two, that it actually happened, like that I actually just like went over there and then immediately got caught. Like it was a fascinating experience because like I don't know, the last two shifts, like, or just all of my shifting um has kind of felt like I'm just kind of like, at first, that I'm kind of just there like inhabiting a body, but this felt closer to like transmigration and like inhabiting a body. It was is very interesting, very interesting experience. The second mini ship story I have to tell is that, let me just, sorry, I think, I don't know if my hand was covering my mic, and if it was, that sucks. turn on closed captions, I guess, if you couldn't hear me. I need to edit those. Anyways, um, sorry, I'm like tired, so I'm like yawning and stretching, but I feel like I can't go to sleep, so I'm recording this instead. Anyway, um, so the second one, I actually woke up on the train. And apparently, like when I woke up or shifted, I shifted on the train from staring at the wall. I was staring at the wall and then I kind of just shifted there and I was like, oh, because I was like, where am I? You know, again, I was like, what's happening? Because like the second time I was just like, oh, I wonder if it'll just like happen again. And it did. But the second time, what I had originally tried, no, because I had tried the falling asleep method. I don't know if I've ever talked about like the methods I've tried in shifting. If I haven't and you're interested, I would love to tell you. Um like all the different methods I've tried and how they didn't work for me or what happened, my experiments. So, I shifted on the train. A a compartment, a room. I forgot what they're called. By myself. And I was like, okay, interesting. And then doors open. Three people are there. First guy, main guy, he's like, there you are. All three of them just come in, sit down on like the other. So I'm in one seat and they're on the other one. Um, and he's like, why do you always go off by yourself? Oh, what did he say? He was like, why do you always go off by yourself? When you can just come with me or come with us, something like that. And this is Draco Malfoy. And one of them, his name Vincent Crabbe, and I forgot Goyle's first name. Unless no, it's Vincent Crabbe and something Goyle, right? I think. Anyways, all three of them were there, and I'm looking at them, and I'm like, I know you, don't I? Why do I know you? And he was like, what happened? He said, "Oh, he's like, have you gone daft or something like that?" Because I'm just staring at them, and then I made a face like something like that. And like the moment he said that, I kind of just like immediately made a face. I was like, or like, and then he says that, I'm like, yeah, that's what I did. And I think it was Crab. He's like, nope, same old Rix. And so apparently my name is Rix Spider, which is fascinating. I want to write a fan fiction about myself, like, and so even then when I heard Rix, I was like, oh, so that's my name. Cool, like cool. And I just automatically knew that they were saying my first name and not my last name. So then that's also when I connected the dots that this is the same reality. This is the same, you know, as the other one. So we're like, well, they're really chatting a little bit, and I'm trying to just put everything together. Like, okay, I'm on the train to Hogwarts. What year is it? Like, what's happening? And well, so then they started. I think I asked them. I wish I could remember the conversation. Next time, I'm gonna film like max 2 days after it happens because I need to remember this stuff because it's so interesting. And if I ever write the fictions, like if you're waiting for my magician fic, I did write it. It is in the description of that video. Um, there's only one chapter out right now. Took me 8 months to write it for some reason. Anyway, so then I what do I do? Oh yeah, so I had asked them something about like what's Hogwarts like, and yeah, I was asking them like what's Hogwarts like, I guess I'm a transfer from somewhere for some reason. And they were telling me like kind of like the deal of Hogwarts, and they're like, "Oh, Slytherin wins the House Cup every year." Like I guess they were explaining like how house planes work or something like that. And they were like, Slytherin wins the House Cup every year, and then Draco's like, not since Potter's been around. And then I was like, okay, well, how long has Potter been around? No, I said something like, well, how long has Potter been a circle or something like that, like something dumb, like because he's around, you know. And Draco just looks at me like, you're not funny. And Goyle was like, I think he said about 5 years. And so that's when I put together that I was in the fifth year. I don't even remember what happens in the fifth year because they don't get. It's only 7 years, right? They didn't graduate their seventh year. So okay, first year. What's the fifth movie? Oh my gosh! Wait, hold on. Pause in my storytelling. This is gonna bother me. So, Prisoner of Azkaban is the third one, and then it's Goblet. Ah, why did I get this year? This is the year of not the Toad. No, she's. I mean, I didn't mean to call her Toad Lady. I forgot her name. Pink Lady, the pink lady that likes cats. Umbridge. There we go. Yeah, the Order of the Phoenix. There we go. So anyway, so I put that together. I'm in fifth year because we're the same age, or we're like really close to the same age. You know, like we would be in the same school year is what I mean. And so I was like, yikes, can't be saying Slytherin wins every year if you've been losing for the past 5 years straight. And Draco's looking at me like, stop. Goyle and Crab. Crab is like the most lighthearted, and he like just he starts laughing actually, and then like Vincent like kind of like elbows him in the side. He's like, ahem, ahem. And so then um, I don't remember what we were talking about, but I Draco was like, you should change into your robes. Like we're gonna arrive there soon. And I'm like, cool, okay. In my head, I'm like, where did I put my luggage? And so then I just kind of like looked around, and he's looking at me like, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, I was just trying to remember what cart we're in so I can come back. And so then obviously my luggage was literally right above me. It was right above me. And I open it, it's full of stuff. Full of stuff. So I kind of just like dug in my robes and pulled them out. And I was like, I'll be back. And if I'm not back, look for me because I got lost. Like, um, and did I leave the compartment twice? No, right. It's only one. Sorry, it's because two things happened, and they were both outside of the compartment. I couldn't remember what was what. So, um, I kind of like I open the door, I get out into this tiny hallway. And I was just like, dang, okay, where would the restroom be to change? And it took me a moment. It took me a solid moment to find this restroom, and the train kept moving. You know, so I'm like, ugh. I personally have never been on a train before, so I'm just like, like I'm not. I don't have train legs. Okay, like sea legs. I don't have train legs. So, find the restroom. I change, and interesting thing, I have a massive scar on my abdomen, like a massive scar. And so I saw that, and I was like, whoa, cool, because it looked cool. It wasn't like, I don't know. It didn't. It looked like it was an old scar, and like it was healed just fine, and it kind of looked like it didn't really look that deep, to be honest. Like anyway, I don't need to describe it that much. And I was like, cool. Why did I get that? It looks, I mean, it looks old, but it didn't look small. You know how if you get like a wound as a child, like a scar, it starts to kind of like shrink, quote unquote, because you were physically getting bigger? It was pretty big. So I'm just like, when did I get this? Because it also looked really healed over, like really well healed over. And I'm just like, huh. And then I was like, kind of like in the back of my head, I was like, am I a muggle born? Because I'm just like, why would I have such a large scar? Like, what gave me this scar that magic couldn't heal it right? And if it's not that magic couldn't heal it right, did I not have access to magic? So I was trying to like figure it out, but I was like, you know what? I have been in this restroom for too long. Let me get out. So I leave, and I was like, you know what? That candy lady's on here. What's her name? The trolley lady. She gotta be here somewhere. So I'm looking down the hallway, can't find this lady. And I was like, what? So I'm kind of like going, I'm like speed walk, like not speed walking, but not leisurely walking either. Like kind of like peeking into everyone's compartment and stuff, and then kind of just glancing. I'm looking for this lady, and I found her in someone else's compartment, and I was like, "Hey, can I get 2 pounds of red strawberry licorice, word for word what I said, and two chocolate frogs?" And she gives it to me, and I got the 2 pounds of licorice wrapped in like parchment paper, which I just think is interesting. And then the chocolate frogs, and I gave her 2 galleons. I think that's how you pronounce it, galleons. And she's like, "Oh, this is too much," which I think it actually is too much. And I was like, "Nah, just keep it." So I'm ballin', apparently, in the wizard world. I am ballin' because I can just drop money like that. And I go back. I'm like headed back to my compartment, but the train shifts, and I fell like into someone else's compartment. Like that. Like I tapped. Like okay, I fell into the door, popped off the door. It shifted again, and when I like fell into the door, it like shook it. It opened it when it shifted again. So then when it shifted again, I fell back into the door, but the door wasn't there anymore. So I fell into someone's compartment. I'm like on my back, and I was like, "Ow!" And 4 people looking down at me. I'm looking up at them. In the back of my head, I'm like, I know these people. It was Ron, Hermione, Neville, and Harry. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to pretend like I don't know those people because I don't know these people in this universe. And so I was like, ow. I was like, ow, ow. And so then I get up, and I was just like, sorry about that. Train moved. And then I get up, I shut the door, and I keep walking. I'm like, didn't happen. Pretend it didn't happen. And I'm like, this stupid train. As soon as I said that, boom, back I fell again into the windows. And I was like, oh my god, like, are there rocks on the tracks? You think a train that's used like on the daily, at least on the same day every year, at least at the same time, they would have the tracks clear? I was like so mad. I was so mad about it. And I make it back to my compartment. You know what? I lied. I did leave the compartment twice. I knew I left it twice. Okay, sorry. So, let me finish, right? So, I get back to my compartment. I'm like, hey, got y'all chocolate frogs. I only got 2 though. So, either one of them didn't eat one, or I just didn't like somebody. But I know that Crab got one. I don't remember who I gave the other one to. And because I was not finna eat chocolate that moves like that. And I don't really like chocolate like that anyway. So, um, I got the licorice. Draco's like, why would you get so much licorice? And I'm like, because I like licorice. Like, what you mean? And he, then he told me, I think we got into a mini argument about something. And then he told me to change my robes. So that's what happened. That's the whole point of like when he told me to change my robes up until where I was looking for the trolley lady. So originally, the first reason I got up was because I was looking for the trolley lady. Because we got into like a little, not in like a tiff or something, like a little back and forth. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna look for the trolley lady. And yeah, so now we're caught up to the story. I got back from, so before I left to get to change my robes, I was like, here, hold this. And I kind of like placed it in his hands or more like his arms. I was like, hold this, right? I was like, do not eat all of that. And he's like, I'm not gonna eat any of it. I'm like, went to change, came back, and like, tell me what, I got 2 pounds of licorice, right? If you don't know what 2 pounds of licorice is, it's a lot. Because licorice don't really weigh that much, but like, it's a lot. Tell me why. I come back to half of it missing. I wasn't gone that long. I was like, not gonna eat any of it. You ate half the stack. I was like, this is why I got 2 pounds of licorice. He was like, yeah, whatever. Da, 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 right. And I'm trying to remember if I made it all the way to Hogwarts. Or not. There was a point on the train before I got up where we were talking about houses. And I was like, what house should I try? What house should I be in? And Draco was like, Slytherin is the best house. And he's like, but I don't know if you can get into it. And I was like, what do you mean? And then they started telling me about the sorting ceremony. And I was like, so they put this dusty old hat on your head and it just tells you where you go? And they were like, yeah, pretty much. And I was like, okay. I mean, what if I just say I want Slytherin? And they're like, you can't do that. And I was like, watch me. I'm going to get Slytherin. They're like, And I'm like, I'm going to get Slytherin. I'm literally, I don't care. Put me in a different house. I'm sitting at the Slytherin table. Like, it's not happening. Like, I was so adamant about it. And they're like, okay, okay. And yeah, that was just, I don't know where that fit in the story, but that goes somewhere. Yeah, so that's the time that I made somehow a 30-minute video out of me telling you 2 mini shifts. I talk so much. Anyway, yeah. I want to post at least every 10 days. That's the goal. From here onward is just a couple words and stuff. So if you only came for the stories, bye. I will catch you in the next video. Or you will catch me in the next video. Because I can't see you. Duh. Anyway, yeah, so I do want to try and post every 10 days. I don't shift that often. If you haven't noticed, I don't really shift that often. I have, oh my gosh, I have refilmed what I would be like in Hunter x Hunter. Like if I was in Hunter x Hunter 3 freaking times. Hated it every time. I'm gonna refilm it, but like I'm annoyed. Um yeah, so there's that. Yeah, I want to try and post every 10 days. I have over 300 subscribers now. Wild, wild. Don't know where y'all came from. Don't know if you'll even watch my videos or if you just subscribed. But thank you for being here. Honestly, I don't know what to do. You know what? I might just, I don't even know what to do. I keep asking, but like, I don't have enough subscribers that watch my videos and comment. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna do the giveaway at 500. I'll just figure it out myself, I guess. But yeah. Other than that, I still work my regular job, which I don't want to work at anymore. Really don't want to work at anymore, and I want to quit, but they're so short-staffed that I would feel monumentally bad for quitting for essentially no reason to anybody else. Um, but yeah. If you were interested in my magician fic for my magician story, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's actually a video titled my experience shifting or something like that. Shifting story times 3003. Um, which should be tagged somewhere. If it's not tagged somewhere, you can definitely find it on my page. It's from about 8 months ago, apparently. It really doesn't feel like that long ago. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this rambling of mine. I would also like to do like book or comic reviews. I read a lot of comics, online comics, like through Webtoon, Tapas, other comic uploading sites. Some people post theirs on their personal websites. I would love to do reviews or read with me's with that, and I might post them anyway. But if you are personally interested, let me know. Other than that, yeah, that's all I got actually. So thank you for your time, and you will see me in the next one. Bye.